welcome back once again to the Imaginary Gallery. Is TJ, your host. Tonight's discussion is another part of the Narcissist bag of tricks. We've been going through different characteristics of the creatures, still referencing Dr. Hare's book, Without Conscience, The Disturbing World of the Psychopaths Among Us. The next section covers some of the various traits that they use, which form their bag of tricks. Impulsive. Dr. Hare tells us that these creatures are very unlikely to spend very much time weighing the pros and cons of any course of action or considering the possible consequences. Quotes you'll often hear from such creatures are,
"I did it because I felt like it,"
which I have sickeningly heard that very phrase before. No accountability, no explanation, simply, "I did it because I felt like it." Texas murderer Gary Gilmore gained national attention for legally pursuing his own execution, and he succeeded. In 1977, he was the first person executed in the U.S. in 10 years. In response to the question, if you hadn't been caught that night, do you think there would have been a third or a fourth murder? His answer was,
"Until I got caught or shot to death by the police or something like that, I wasn't thinking. I wasn't planning. I was just doing. It was a damn shame for those two guys. I'm just saying that murder vents rage. Rage is not reason. The murders were without reason. Don't try to understand murder by using reason."
more than displays of temper, impulsive acts often result from an aim that plays a central role in most of these creatures' behavior, which is to achieve immediate satisfaction, pleasure, or relief. William and Joan McCord gave a quote, which is, "The psychopath is like an infant, absorbed in his own needs, vehemently demanding satiation. At an early age, most children have already begun to postpone pleasure, compromising with restrictions in their environment. A parent can generally use a promise to put off satisfying a 2-year-old's desires, at least temporarily. Psychopath and cluster B creatures never seem to learn this lesson. They do not modify their desires. They ignore the needs of others." So family members, co-workers, employers typically find themselves standing around asking themselves, what happened? Jobs get quit, relationships get broken off, plans get changed, houses become ransacked, people get hurt, many times for what appears to be little more than a whim. As the husband of a psychopath he studied put it,
"She got up and left the table, and that was the last I saw of her for 2 months."
One of this guy's subjects who scored high on that psychopathy checklist, which I'm taking to mean is definitely or pretty close to being definitely a psychopath, said that while walking to a party, he decided to buy himself a case of beer. Then he realized he didn't have any money because his wallet was left at home, which was 6 to 7 blocks away. He didn't want to have to walk back, so instead he picked up a heavy piece of wood and he robbed the nearest gas station, seriously injuring the attendant. These creatures tend to live day to day and to change their plans frequently. They give little serious thought to the future and worry about it even less, nor do they generally show much concern about how little they've done with their own lives. "Look, I'm a drifter, a nomad. I hate being pinned down," is a typical remark. But he says that one man that they interviewed used an analogy to explain why he lived in the moment. He said, "We're always being told to drive defensively, to mentally plan escape routes in case of an emergency, to look well ahead of the car in front of us. But hey, it's the car just in front of us that's the real danger. And if we always look too far ahead, we'll hit it. If I always think about tomorrow, I won't be able to live today."
I am the Narcopath. I understand you have questions about why I did what I did with you. Why did I pick up my entire life just to spend it with you? If I was just going to leave you a few years later for somebody else?
I'm not like regular people. I don't form bonds and attachments with others like you obviously do. When I met you, I was down on my luck. I'd lost a job because I had gotten caught stealing from the company, and that's never a good thing. And when I saw you and your Mr. Goody-Two-Shoes demeanor at your job, I figured that's the one for me. So I seduced you and showed my teeth to you, hoping you'd be attracted to me. And of course, like they all are, you took the bait. I noticed right off the bat you had a house. I noticed you had plenty of money. And when you were in bed, I looked through your bank information. Oh my God, I thought I found it. You're the one. So, even though I had 2 other boyfriends behind your back, didn't need to know about that. So I would just pretend they're just friends, if by chance you called when I was with one of them. Otherwise, I was with you, and my goal was to seduce you so I could get into your house. I wanted to live in your house because I knew that I could get you in some kind of trouble, which means I could run off with your belongings. I almost did too, but the problem was you were a little bit too nosy, like some of them are, and you started checking up on me, and you found some things out, and at first I just denied it with my normal straight face. You're crazy, you're paranoid, why would you come up with that? And then of course, smoking gun came and I had nothing else to do, so I just figured, you know what, forget it, so I left. And then you were heartbroken, wondering how I could do such a thing, how you could connect to a human being like me, that I could just run off after the way I threw myself at you in the beginning. Honey, you're an object. You didn't mean anything to me. I needed you for stuff. I needed your money. I needed your house. I didn't give a crap about you and your sickening fantasies and discussions. Ugh. Maybe now you can live with yourself and not be so worried. Besides, I found somebody else who's better than you, and he treats my teeth better than you did. He gets milk out of them.
And you accused me of having no remorse or guilt? Well, honey, I didn't have any. That's the truth.
I know I came across at first as a loving, caring person. Anything you said was wrong, I rushed to fix. But, honey, that was just the beginning. That was so I could get into your life. Because I knew once I got into your life, I could control you. And I could make sure to remind you of all I did for you in those first few months. When you found out I was cheating with the gardener, when you found out I was nude at the Shady Lady, where I told you I was at church, honey, that comes with this package because I'm so perfect. You were lucky to have me. Don't be complaining about these things. These are trivial. You had the most beautiful chick in the West, and you blew it. Because you had to spy and check up on the things I was doing that were none of your business. Who cares if I had another marriage going? That was none of your concern. You just needed to stay at home, do your work, leave the house so I could be free, and don't check up on me. Don't look at what I'm doing, because that ain't none of your business. Maybe the next time you get married, you'll realize this, and just let her do what she wants and don't check up on her.